Hello friends, my name is Shivam from DevOps Schools and I will help you to enable your learning process in various technologies of DevOps, artificial intelligence, machine learning, big data and many more. This is our initiative to help you by sharing multiple tutorials and videos. And if you want any specific tutorials or any particular topic, then please do comment in the below comment section and I will help you with it. Also, please subscribe to our premium services on YouTube, which will give you access to more content and videos to enhance your knowledge about all these topics. Also, if you want me to help you with regards to the online trainings and classroom sessions by our qualified trainers, then please do write me at contact@devopsschool.com. Thank you.
So this is the Kubernetes, container orchestrator, workload placement, infrastructure abstraction, and managing a desired state. What is the benefit? Speed of deployment. You want to deploy thousands of applications? How much time? 1 second. Get it done. Speed of deployment, and you have seen it, this one in the containers also. If you want to install, if you want to run some application, second. If you want to run 10 applications, second. If you want to run 10,000 applications, second with the Kubernetes. Speed of deployment, you get it because of the help of the Kubernetes containers. Again, ability to observe changes quickly. When I say ability to observe changes quickly, that means new release, V1, V2, V3, V4. If you want to roll out the new changes, it's just a matter of second, guys. You don't have to have any downtime. You don't have to notify anyone. No, yes, not even millisecond of downtime Kubernetes is allowing you. No notification needed, no prior information. Google, do they have you seen any emails from the Google saying that Gmail service will be interrupted at this particular point of time, please be plan your activities accordingly? Have you seen this email from Google? No, they keep deploying it without your knowledge and you never experience any downtime. It's the power of Kubernetes. So whatever the releases, patches, hot patches, fixes, whatever you do, Kubernetes will observe everything without impacting their end client. Third benefit, what we have, ability to recover quickly. That means, let's say something goes wrong and you have to roll back. It can do that wonder things here without realizing the user. You have done the rollback. Kubernetes will do that very easily. And same time, how it's been done, all the complexity is hidden in the cluster. You don't need to know. That's what I have been telling you. One command will do all wonder of Kubernetes because it hides the complexity in the cluster. So guys, this is the Kubernetes. Same time, Kubernetes is moving fast. So that's the best way to get associated with the Kubernetes is to keep learning, spend time every day, keep reading and stuff like that. So with that, what is Kubernetes and why Kubernetes we understand, then we should be getting a curiosity to know how basically this Kubernetes can give so much of feature, how Kubernetes works, what is the architecture of Kubernetes, how it can give me so much of features which we have been dreaming about it since many years in the production server. So for that, you need to know Kubernetes architecture. For that, you need to know Kubernetes architecture. So guys, did you understand what and why part? Can we move on the how part? Any question? Hello? Are you
No
guys
question,
there?
sir.
No
Yes,
Yes,
we are.
question, Rajesh. We are here.
Okay. So now let's understand the architecture, guys. So let's understand the Kubernetes big picture view. Kubernetes is also an orchestrator for microservices app. So Kubernetes is an orchestrator, is an orchestrator for containers anyways, but it's for the microservices app also. Now, what is a microservices? You know that one big feature you convert into the small hundreds of features. One big team you convert into the small one or two people teams, right? and you all work for the microservices. The releases is almost every day, something like that. So this is the world of microservices. This is the era of microservices, and these things can be orchestrated by Kubernetes. That means all the microservices, whatever you have in the world of containers, Kubernetes can orchestrate those microservices also. Let's understand this. This is the football ground. Okay, understand this. And we have a team and we have a manager. Now, what should be the objective of the team? Anyone has idea? Football ground, there are teams. So what should be the objective of the team members?
Win the match.
Win the match.
Yep.
Any other objective?
To go.
Defend and attack.
Goal. Offensive and goal scoring.
Goal. Yeah. To make a goal or to win the match. See, if you set the objective like this, no, every player will have an objective to win the match, or every player you will set the goal. Okay, do one thing, make a goal. Then what they will do, you know?
Everybody will run towards the goal.
Yeah, everyone will be near to the goal post, and this is how we used to play in our childhood also. Remember, we used to be near to the goal post no matter what you decide in a team.
Where's the ball?
Because because you want to make a goal. But actually, guys, this way, and let me tell you here one interesting thing. Here you see 11 players here in this ground. Each player has a certain qualities, certain distinct, unique qualities. But because of the objective, everyone is near to the goal post. So we need someone who can mentor them. We need someone who can guide them, and we need someone who can control them. Let me tell you in a straightforward way, controlling will be a nice word, because mentoring is a very sweet word. Control them. We need someone who can control them, and everyone should obey him. Then that is where we get a master, manager, coach. Manager knows each and every one. Understand that? Manager, coach, account master knows everyone and their capability. And what manager and coach says, you know, if you do not follow me, understand that. If you do not follow me, I'll keep you out of the ground. That means you'll not be a part of the game anymore. So that's the kind of control what manager and coach get it. Now what coach is doing, coach is knowing each and everyone's capability, and accordingly they will place it, and they will tell, do not run, do not run, do not try to make a goal, do only one thing, keep passing the ball from one place to another place to nearest team members. That means to address the goal, that's the end goal anyways, but your goal is not to make a goal, your goal is to just passing the ball, because you cannot run faster than ball. Think simple logic, you cannot run faster than ball. So if you can keep passing the ball to your players and they will keep passing it, so there are two players near to the goal post, their job is to receive the goal from his own team and then make a goal. So this way, the chances of getting a goal conversion is more higher than earlier. And that's the reason you see that in the soccer game also, even though top players you have in that particular team, those teams never win the World Cup. Those teams who's coordinating well, no matter whether it's the second or third countries also, only third world countries also, African countries, they coordinate well, those who win the World Cup. because it's not about the players, how you have a very good player. It's all about the coordination. So the question is, who's doing all this happen? We always see the players, but actually all this controlled by coach, manager, master. Because of him, that coordination is possible. So think about it in the world of microservices also. In the microservices world of microservices nowadays, earlier we had only three services: app services, database services, and web services. But if you look at this now, today's world of the software development, one product, 200 services. Yes, 200 services. Now the question is, think about it, just visualize in your mind. Earlier we had three services and we were having lots of challenges. Now we have 200 services. Now which one will talk to which one? Who will pass the request? Who will accept the response? Who will pass the response? Who will accept the request? Ball is your nothing but a request and response between the services. Okay, who will control this request and response? Who will control each and every microservices and addressing the end goal? And addressing the end goal is like whole application state should be up and running. That's all. So who will make sure that? So here we have a Kubernetes. That's the reason we said Kubernetes is an orchestrator of microservices. There's one keyword I would like you to store in some pointer in your memory. Service. Remember I said Kubernetes is an orchestrator of service, microservice. This service keyword is very popular in the world of Kubernetes, and you will love this topic. How this happen, I'll show you in the how part, but let's understand the architecture. So Kubernetes is an orchestrator of this. See that here. Who can talk to which services, request response? That's your football, soccer ball. Who's controlling it? Kubernetes. Kubernetes is out of the scene, but still controlling the flow of it. And because of that, everyone hit to the load balancer. Load balancer is hitting to the HTTP service, search, auth, this, that, whatever it is. But all the flow controlled by Kubernetes. Interesting thing is here. Look at this very carefully. Only look at the HTTPS, you will love it. See the behavior. Services, microservices running in the different node, but the behavior is the same. Behavior is the same. See, one is running in the node 1 and another one is running in a node 2, but the behavior is still same. So that is the reason we call it Kubernetes, and also an orchestrator of microservices. With that, guys, this is your architecture. So in Kubernetes, we have a master and a node. You see the multiple master for HA perfect, because one master die, without a master, Kubernetes cluster will be orphan, nothing will work. So master is needed all the time. You know that. Without a master, nothing works. So here in Kubernetes cluster, you have a master and node. You can have a HA, multiple masters also, and node anyways, you have to have a multiple. Okay. So like this, that we mastered and node together combined, and we call it Kubernetes cluster. Now, who controls the master? There is one deployment package. You see the file that's called package, deployment package, and that deployment package you write. So it's very simple. You write what? You do what? You write a deployment package. Send to what? Master, and master will get you all the tasks done without any disturbance. At the same time, they'll keep managing on in your absence also. You don't need to do anything once you send this package to master. If something is happening bad, master will correct everything automatically. So guys, did you understand that the high level architecture in terms of master, node, and deployment package? Did you understand that, guys?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So now look at this. So master who's in charge, and node who's really doing the work. So guys, look at this here one more time. Node has something which is pod. I don't know what is pod is, but one thing is very familiar. Do you know what is inside the pod? What is the icon of that? What is the icon? Anyone guesses? No. So here I got to learn node has a pod. That's a question mark. What is a pod? I don't know. But pod has a container icon. Whenever you see that icon, no, that's a container icon. So basically, yes, Kubernetes run the container in the worker in the node, but actually container is inside a pod. Container you know very well, but what is a pod? We need to learn together. Okay. So far so clear, guys. Any questions? Any questions?
No.
Now let's deep dive into the master. Okay, let's deep dive into the master. What we call it, master? Master, we call it the Kubernetes control plane. Many places you will see Kubernetes control plane or masters. So what we have? So guys, master has to be in a Linux, and master manages the node. Node need to be in a Linux. Let me tell you, 2019 onwards, Windows 2019 onwards, the node can be Windows also, but the master has to be Linux one. Okay, 64-bit. Node has a four. Sorry, master has a four important component. Important one. For HA purpose, if one master is not good, healthy, so other master will behave as a backup. So multi-master HA is possible.
What is the HA here?
High availability of master.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because master is very important. Without master, nothing will work. Remember, nothing will work. Like a manager. If manager is out of this stadium, then you know that how player will play without any guidance, without any control, right? So like that.
So Rajesh, master can be on Linux and node can be on Windows. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So node has to be master has to be Linux only, 64-bit.
Okay.
But
Okay.
nowadays node it can be Linux or Windows also. In
Node is
2019 onwards.
Yeah, Node is a like operating machine, right? So what do you call it?
Node
PC.
means the VM. It can be physical machine or VM, virtual machines.
Okay.
Master also can be physical machines or virtual machines connected over the physical network.
Okay.
So who takes care of the availability of the master?
Who take care of this?
You said it's HA. So who takes care of the availability of the master? Is it load
So
balancer
we'll
or?
this. No. Yeah, you got it. Load balancer. But we'll discuss this stuff later because this is something like after the Kubernetes, how to make it most available. So we'll discuss architecture. That's very pretty simple architecture, but we'll discuss at the end of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Master has a four important component. Master can be HA. You see here, this is the interesting image. Master
Rajesh,
has a
node
four
or
important.
Rajesh, question.
Yeah.
Rajesh, yeah. Does node also
I
have
can
to be on a physical network? Masters have connected on a physical network.
Yeah. So, sir, physical network is anyways needed. No, without that, nothing. No other network will come. Even though you create some other network, soft network, without a physical network, nothing will work. Correct, na?
Yeah, I mean underneath, yes, it's physical network. It's like master it could be a physical machine or a VM, and all the nodes also
Yeah.
could be physical machines or VMs, right?
Yes. Physical machine or view.
Okay.
Guys, this is interesting. So master has 4 important component. Master has to be Linux 64-bit. Okay. Master manage the node. Wonderful. As per the image, node is in Linux right now. We are talking only in Linux. Node has a pod. See that very carefully. It's very important session, guys. Important. Node has a pod, and inside the pod earlier it was a one container. Now pod can have a multiple containers also. See here, first node. And one more thing, guys. Node can have a one pod, multiple container, or node can have a multiple pod, single container. So any combination is possible. Understand that?
Then what is pod then? I didn't get then pod concept.
Yeah, even I have to know that actually. So we don't know what is pod, but I get to know one thing. Pod is inside a node, and inside a pod you have a container. That I got to know. But what is a pod, we don't know. So we'll come to know. We'll learn together. Okay? Make sense? Okay.
Yes.
So guys, very important. Master has managed the node. Node has a pod. Pod has a container. Inside a pod, you can have a multiple container. You can have a multiple container in one node also. Please hardcode this image. So now the question is, master has a 4 important component. Which are those? So master has one of the most important component. Most important, I would say. Repeat. Most important. API server. Now the question is, what is API server? I don't know. So let's learn. So here, when I look at this official documentation, Kubernetes says it's a front end to the control plane. I know that control plane, which include master, but it's a front end. That means it's like a front. That means front end to the control panel. That means maybe it's basically, if you want to talk to the master, then you have to talk to API server. Simple. That means that's the front end. If you talk to the master, then you have to talk to the API server. It's like a front end. Now API server you can access through REST API. Okay, that's cool. REST API means HTTP service, something like that. That we also learned. REST means we got to know it's a HTTP based service. Now the question is how the API server will receive the request. How can I send the request to API server? So guys, API server receive a request only in form of JSON file. Okay, JSON file. So that I got to know what is API server. Now let me elaborate little bit for more understanding. Okay. API server is your front end for control panel. That means API server is everything for the control panel. That means anything you want to send to Kubernetes cluster, you have to send to API server. Understand that? Again, I'm repeating. Anything you want to get it done with the help of the Kubernetes cluster, you have to send to API server. I said anything and everything to API server. So what exactly API server is? Guys, there's a 2 keyword here. Please broke this out. API server. That means API, 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 hundreds of API and clubbing together, and server is managing this multiple API. Now what is this API means? API will give feature 1, feature 2, feature 3, feature 4, feature 5, feature 6, feature 7, like that. So guys, yes, that's true. Kubernetes alone itself is the best example. Yes, Kubernetes alone itself is the best example of the microservices orchestration. So these are the nothing but the microservices. So let me tell you here, let's say Kubernetes has hundreds of features. Okay, 100 feature. So all these 100 feature, what they did, they created APIs for it. That means they run it independently and they expose that API for each one of these. Okay, so how can you access those API? That is the thing. So each API is a separate, but how can you access it? How can you access it? So if you want to access this, you have to access it. If I tell you simple thing, 100 feature is there in Kubernetes. If I tell you endpoint for 81 port, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, you'll get crazy. You'll definitely get crazy. Saying that, boss, hundreds of microservices, hundreds of APIs, I can't remember it. It's a too much of waste of time. Can you automate this? So what Kubernetes did, they put it all API at one application, which is called API server, and then created one endpoint for it. Now, if you want to use any applications, let's say this one, you connect to this one endpoint and then redirect to this. Connect to this, connect to this. So did you understand that, guys? What is API server? API server is not only one software, one application, one feature. API server represents hundreds of features together, assembled and accessible through one endpoint, and it always consumes JSON. Did you understand that? Did you understand that?
Yes.
Guys, in human body, what is the front end, by the way? In human body, what is the front end? Tell me.
Senses.
All the sense organs.
The brain.
See, human body. So what is the front end here? Any idea? Front end. Right? This is the front end.
कर लो
Right, guys? This is your front end. This is a control plane. This is your master of your body. Tell me one thing. Which can act like API server here? Which can act like API server?
Eyes.
Here, no? Yeah, eyes also can act like, by the way, in some way. So all the input is from here. So when you receive the input, all the request, whole world send the request to the ear. From here, where it goes? Where it goes?
Brain.
Storage. This is a storage. Memory, right? Brain memory. So here the data is being stored permanently, correct? So
Yes.
if you want to create this human, if eye is not functioning, sorry, ear is not functioning, you can replace that. Nowadays possible. But if you want to replace that memory, can you recreate that personality, same person, same? No.
Please enroll our general membership for $399 plan to get access of all the parts.
Along with that, you can access our other tutorials such as Docker, Ansible, Jenkins, Terraform, Splunk, AWS, Azure, and various other DevOps related premium tutorials with our channel membership. If you would have any issues with our channel membership, you can drop an email to us at contact@devopsschool.com, or you can also unsubscribe from channel membership anytime if you don't want to continue or did not like the video. To get our channel membership, click onto the join button, select the $399 plan and grow your skills immensely. Please be kind enough to like it, and you can comment any of your doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Thanks for watching.